What is up, people? Right, we're back with week 1 of PEBA, and spoiler alert, it didn't go very well, as expected. So what I've got on the screen here, before we start going through the replay, is my team. Admittedly, I built this quite late on a voice call, and once I got to the game, I completely forgot everything that it does. We were going for quite the bulky variant on this one. We had Stellar Stealer with Substitute, Heavy Slam, Air Slash, and Leech Seed. Other bulkies were Mr. Blobby, my beloved Jellicent, only a little bit of speed EVs to outspeed. I can't even remember on the other team at this point. Everything plugged back into HP, special defense variant, Will-O-Wisp, Taunt, Hex Recover. Very basic Jellicent set with a Krowboi Berry to try and ward off any of the knockoffs. And your basic Wish Protect, Toxic, Foul Play, Umbreon. Pretty self-explanatory at this point. And all of my attackers were special attack, which probably did not work out too well for me in hindsight, but we had a Choice Scarf in DD, ready to try and hit things like the Heracross, Camera Up's just pure power with Yawn to hopefully ward off anything that might come out on it, and Assault Vest, Roserade, Sludge Bomb, D-Gleam, Giga Drain, Venoshock in case anything's poisoned, and hopefully just to tank any of the special attacks and then come back and hit things as hard as possible. I probably could have used it better if I remembered what I was meant to be doing with it, which is going to be a very common theme in a lot of these videos. I do not remember anything that happens at the best of times, so we're going to go through the replay. I can't promise that we're going to have any real insight into how I'm thinking, but we're going to skip through all of these turns. The last few turns I probably won't go through in great detail because there's a lot of Umbreon just doing Umbreon things. So we come out first with leading Umbreon, and Socrates leads Zapdos. Zapdos obviously U-turns on me. Please ignore the chat. I go off with a Toxic. It hits pretty decently. Having it on Tangrowth is helpful, which is a good start. I switch out into Roserade. My thinking there was probably I had the Venoshock, meant I could hit it harder. It did mean I got my Assault Vest knocked off, which came back to bite me in the long run, but it just meant Roserade was down to half HP. I probably started panicking at this point, so I wasn't sure what I was going to do. Carry on. He comes back out with Zapdos. I throw out Venoshock. A lot of my MO is I'm just going to hit whatever's in front of me, and usually it'll get some damage off. Leftovers recovery. I switch out into Umbreon again. Just means I get U-turned, more chip on Umbreon. He comes out into Heracross. Terrifying for me. I have never fought against a Mega Heracross in my life. And obviously it's not an excuse. This league, I've got a lot of new Pokemon that I've never used before, and I'm fighting a lot of new mons that I've never fought against before. So I don't get too disheartened by these. It's a lot of a learning curve for me. And yeah, we'll go from here. I fully anticipated a close combat here, only for Heracross to evolve, and then I get hit with a Rock Blast 5 times. It gets disabled, which works out, but means Jellicent gets taken down to 32%, and after that I'm like, well, I don't know what else to do, and then Bullet Seed comes out. So Mr. Blobby goes down pretty early on. It's not a very good start. I bring out Indeedee. My full intention was, well, there's a Heracross here, I'm going to hit it with Mystical Fire. Probably should have hit it with Psychic. But it means Cable comes out, it loses the special attack, which I think, well, okay, it kind of works out here. Yep, I go back out into Roserade, and then Stealth Rock gets set up. I didn't bring any removal this battle, so that was a bit of a awkward moment for me. Throw out a sludge bomb, Zapdos gets nicely chipped and it gets poisoned, but that doesn't really do too much in the long run. Wasn't too bothered by it, and I hope Socrates wasn't either. Yeah, I can't really explain what I brought out. My thinking was, well, I'm probably going to get hit with a heat wave. So if I bring out camera ups, not a lot of damage. And there we go, it comes out 17%, and then the stealth drops damage. I Mega Evolve, and very probably get hit with a U-turn. Comes out into Lomomola. I was expecting a Clefable there. My logic was, well, if I throw Flash Cannon out and he goes out into Clefable, it gets hit, and if he doesn't, then Zapdos dies. In hindsight, definitely just throwing out a Fire Blast or whatever fire move I had on him would have worked out a lot better in that scenario, because it does hit everything a lot harder on his team. Probably wouldn't have mattered too much in hindsight with Velo, but that's where we're at. And then Psychic Terrain disappears. Back it into Indeedee, bring it back up. Then I get hit with an Ice Beam. Indeedee chunks it fairly well. So my thinking is, well, if I just sit here and take it, use Encore, it means a Lomomola can't Toxic anything or Wish Up. I wasn't too sure what the Lomomola set would be. So Scarf Encore worked out quite nicely here. And it means I can go into Umbreon fairly freely. Especially with the Ice Beam going, so I didn't want to send Celesteela into it. Heracross comes back out, I toss up a Wish, yep, there we go. Yeah, and then I go out into Camera Ups thinking that it's going to hit with a Rock Blast, but then Close Combat comes out and Camera Up goes down, which is a massive misplay on my part. I'm spending a lot of this battle completely over-predicting, which is unfortunate for me. I can't say I would ever have made the best plays if I wasn't over-predicting, but I knew that in a lot of scenarios I was, and then I come out with Psychic here, simply because I realised, okay, maybe hitting it with Mystical Fire isn't the best idea. Does mean that Lomomola gets the Wish off, and I go back into Umbreon. It did mean the Protect failed. Lomomola got the Wish off anyway. And I'm fairly certain my intention here was to Wish Pass. But I played this a couple of days ago. A couple of days ago, I played it yesterday. Both of us toss out a Wish. I miss a Toxic, which was kind of unfortunate, but not too big in the long run. Both the Wishes pop off, we're both back up to 100%. I throw off another Toxic, which works out, but it does mean I've not really realised at this point. This was pointed out to me afterwards. Once Umbreon was down, well, once Jellicent was down, Heracross is always going to be hitting Close Combat. And this wasn't something I realised in the battle, because at this point I was panicking. This is where I finally bring out Celesteela, and it has been pointed out that probably one of my biggest misplays was not bringing out Celesteela earlier, because it obviously could tank a Close Combat, it could come out and Air Slash Heracross if need be, and okay, yeah, after this I'm not too sure what I was thinking at this point. Heracross was down, which was the biggest threat to me and the thing that was the biggest source of panic for me, but at this point a lot of my Pokemon are too low on HP, they basically get clonked by anything on his team. The special defense drop does come off the Psychic here, which I thought would be a potential kill, but unfortunately not, and indeed it goes down here to a Moonblast. Which, you know, mistakes happen, and this is kind of where this is where the battle ends. I forget Clefable gets Flamethrower, Celesteela goes down, and the last 12 turns here are basically just Umbreon trying to Toxic stall as much as possible to save differential. I'm going to click through here because there's not much point in me explaining too much, it just does Umbreon things. I like to think I played Umbreon decently well, but I unfortunately get leech seeded by Tangrowth, and that is basically where it finishes at this point. And Socrates does incredibly well to preserve his differential with both the Fable and Tangrowth both being very low on health and being poisoned. Until and Moonlight comes out there, and it's like, well, they all have healing capabilities. So yeah, I didn't try too hard to try and stall out forever because there's not really much point in that. And this is where Umbreon goes down in sometime in the next few turns. There we go. But yeah, it was a good battle. I definitely panicked quite a lot. Definitely overpredicted a lot and wasn't sure what to expect. A lot of these people I've never battled before, and it's definitely something I need to be aware of and not panic too much about. But yeah, that was my week 1 battle in PBA. Lost 5-0. But you know, it's only 1 week out of 10. So next week, I say next week, it's this week now. But I play Nico this week with his D-Max Sudowoodo as his trademark for him. So quite looking forward to that one. So hopefully that'll be out in the next week or so. So I will see you guys all then. Bye bye.